Yo, I like that. Like to welcome y'all this evening. Ain't no playing, no scheming, no scamming your way out of this time. Coming full force, and I won't miss. When I play for keeps. When I lay, y'all go to sleep. And I never play with y'all. I'm only coming for y'all, so that y'all know I still got the flow and I'm ready to go whenever y'all is. You already know I control the biz and never talk about shit. Not about my personal, but maybe a little. I'm with this bullshit. If you talking about the podcast, bro, we doing it big. Tower of Babel, niggas talking shit, but don't understand shit. But they ready to get at you. These comments be crazy, but when it come to me, I'm never lazy. You already know niggas talking crazy, but I'm not with the shit. I'm always off of it. I'm only with the real shit. The type of shit I try to kick. Things that I talk about in a part, it really be in my mind and it's come from the heart. As a matter of fact, from Noah's Ark, we was destined to come the new land and inform, and you already fucking know. Like Voltron, I fucking transform on these niggas, we get it on, and we always try to never make a song or perform, just leave them like, yeah. Nah, I'm fucking with y'all. Listen, it's a quick one. We call the Emergency Pod Series. I'm bringing it back. This is Emergency Pod Series 2.0. We're going to call it Episode 1. Because I'm not ready to do 81, Episode 81 of the podcast. We're on Emergency Pod. Emergency Pod Series 1. Before New Year's, call it the New Year's episode, the first episode, whatever you want. But honestly, we got a couple things we got to talk about. Listen, the beats is off. And I'm talking to y'all directly. First of all, Eddie Griffin has the best YouTube channel, show, whatever you want to call it, NNN. Everybody likes to call it NNN News, or like I like to call it New Nigga News, as is basically like the new shit that only niggas pay attention to, and like in a like general way, I guess to what FBA or black people in general. I'm not sure, no disrespect, but my nigga, come on. And then whenever it says, "Oh, we'll be right back," and when he says "news" with the big capital N, listen, my boy, he got this shit on lock. Listen, this man is my elder. Listen, Eddie Griffin was the best part of it. Malcolm and Eddie, one of the best shows of the '90s. They was on the Wayans Brothers as pause. They was literally almost number one on UPN, and there was like, I believe, one fall where Wayans Brothers basically was trash. It was at the end, and it was at the height of Malcolm and Eddie's popularity when they became basically number one in UPN. That was dope. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta give him a shout out. A couple more shout outs before we get out of here. Oh yeah, I want to shout out the Nephilims, and I want to shout out the angels and everything flying above. All these fucking drones and all this fucking shit. It's actually fallen angels. Perfect sound effect. It's actually, come on. These are signs that are supposed to happen before Jesus Christ comes back to get his people. It was forewritten, it was foretold, it happened, it will happen again. Because, like the saying goes, if you don't learn, you are doomed to repeat it. It is what it is. Shout out to the angels, you know what I'm saying, flying above, doing their thing. They already know where it's at. They're up in Jersey. They said they heard that TheePorchPod, so they, you know, they be flying around different towns. I mean, they're trying to get their frequency. They trying, you know what I mean, my loyal listeners. Oh, the great 30 are all angels that are interdimensional beings. But yo, seriously, yo, for real, you can call it a throwaway episode, whatever you want to call it, but it is the first of the series of the 2020s, really. Because I believe I stopped doing the Emergency Pod series in 2021. Not 100% sure. Definitely felt like it's been years. But I believe we stopped at 19, bro. 19 was a crazy episode. Emergency Pod series. But this is Emergency Pod 2.0. This is the first episode. So take it easy. You feel what I'm saying? Alright, second. Oh my God. Listen, Orlando Brown still got me with that song Hip Hop. He still got me with the beat is one of the hardest things I ever heard, right? Orlando Brown. Everybody knows this crazy motherfucker. Everybody knows what he be on. Shout out to him and Ness. They were The little review I tried to do, niggas was saying on that episode. Hey, listen, 79 went down in flames. Yo, episode 79 was fucking shadow bait. There was so much going on because it was like a crazy news cycle. And it was basically anybody who attached themselves to like certain people who knew it was fucking, listen, it was Sodom and Gomorrah last month in the fucking YouTube and Instagram uploading scene. Like, yo, there was shadow banning mad shit. Like, if you was coming at Drake, if you was coming at Andrew Schultz, if you was coming at anybody like that, listen, anything that I put out that was about these people got shadow banned, taken down, or copyright struck, even without music on it. Literally, like, listen to me. I have a part that I dropped that I literally took 0.1 second of Drake saying, "I'm here, I'm in one piece," in case you're wondering. That's literally like 1.1 seconds. Here we go. The Nephilim flying above. Once again, it just becomes this thing where it's like, yo, because it's Drake, so because I mention him, y'all gonna shadow ban me? Y'all gonna come for me like that? Then when people say that he's a plan, that he got a lot of nerve coming for the industry, y'all try to, you know what I'm saying? And definitely not shout out to him, but definitely shout out to Instagram for having the balls to, even though I've heavily trained them, that I will delete the you know, the app, and you know, they pissed me off recently, so you know, I ended up deleting them. You know, I had to take a mental health break. I swear it was going to be to the new year, but of course I had to make a part before the New Year's. And I'm going to try to release it by tomorrow. So today's the 30th. Most likely I'll release it New Year's Eve. You know what I'm saying? And not like New Year's Day or anything. Because, come on, New Year's Eve, what the fuck is anybody doing besides working? Or like still waiting on the holiday? Because the holiday is New Year's Day, right? So it's just one of those situations. Like, we really have no reason to like celebrate until the nighttime. So, you know, I'll probably try to drop between, like I said, tonight and tomorrow morning. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, yo, just like, listen, this is my problem. You know, I'm going back into the shadow banning. My dude that just came back, another shout out, Gap Teeth Henry. Gap Teeth Henry. Gap Teeth, what you call, not underscore, what you call the line that go on the bottom. I forgot what it was called. And that space with that line on the bottom, not the line in the middle, line on the bottom. And then Henry, regular name Henry, on YouTube, Battle Rap Reaction Channel. My man was, yo, they got all these other channels doing this shit. And nobody's getting flagged. This people, not just playing the audio, whatever you're going to tell me, they got deals, they got this, they got that, you know what I'm saying? They're allowed to do it from the company, whatever you want to tell me. Listen, that's fine. I understand some people get to do certain things that others can't. But my thing, just like Flacco's a bitch. And he's hitting on my nigga Mike, the point and shoot is going to come back for the Vegas. He already said the wait is almost over. Listen to me, I'm not worried about them niggas. Big chat, they already realized what it was. I'm happy that Mike put them out there. He said, yo, just rebuff it. Make sure, pause, that these niggas realize that you're ready to take it to the legal. And YouTube know like to take your strikes off. I remember hitting up Gap Teeth Henry, I think it was on the gram, and telling him, yo, you know that if you know what I mean? You strike the strike, you know what I'm saying? They got to give you your page back. Not only they got to give you your page back, they got to give it back to you and not bring it back up unless that motherfucker's ready to take it to court. And even then, they can't take your page. It's your page. They have to let the legal proceedings happen before they're actually able to take your shit. Because they could, stop you from uploading, they could stop people from seeing your content. They can't take your page because, again, even though they're giving us access to it, there's no part in the contract that says you can't, knowingly, with fair use, having your face on the camera, reacting to it, get in trouble if you're saying, I'm a reaction channel, not playing all the content, making sure that you're not showing something that's copywritten, making sure that if something is being reviewed, that you're saying you're merely reviewing it and that you don't, don't put out sections of it that can be interpreted as use, right? It becomes fair use because you're the filter, you're talking about it, right? So of course there's always moments and flashes of information that comes up that is, from the content, but you're supposed to be in a respectful way. You're supposed to not play all of it, and you're supposed to also have your face there. Now these creators Well, some of us, like delete it. Like myself, I don't normally like to show my face like that, especially when I'm talking or doing my reactions. I like to feel real calm and chill. And not having my face, that makes me feel very relaxed. And it's not something that I need as far as like fame. I don't want to get people to come to me to talk to me about my shit outside. I don't want to interact like that. I want to be able to put my shit out there. See how I feel if we interact on social media. We interact in a verbal, in a communication about anything. That's fine. I have no problem telling my truth, saying who I am. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not my government to the extent of like first my last name, like especially if I were to get more, you know what I'm saying, known for my work. People like us don't deserve to do reactions. We don't deserve to. Nah, bro, it don't work like that, bro. It don't work like that. It's called fair use. You're supposed to be able to do shit. Like, you can audit, you can walk around recording shit, people, whatever. Same way you can do that, you can audit a fucking program. You can do shit. Like, there's ways to get around what certain people might perceive as a copyright or like some sort of, you know what I'm saying? Yo, we're not even a fucking flight path, yo. We're literally not even a fucking flight path. The problem is this isn't whatever you want to call it, emergency maneuvers. For the emergency part one. Like when people have to get out of the airport area because there's too many flights coming in, so they take an extra turn. We one of the extra turns, I guess. And it's, depending on if it's holiday season or whatever, it's almost always a certain amount of things that will happen randomly. So I guess it's more known to me now because I've been living out here for a couple of years. But it's a different section of Jersey City that I didn't actually live in ever. It's a couple blocks away from where I used to live. But especially in Jersey City, there could be such a drastic change in property taxes and like hood lifestyle for just 3-4 blocks, where you could be from the hood and then just in Jersey City alone, move 4 or 5 blocks away, you could feel like you're in a whole suburb. You know what I mean? Especially due to like how we got the small town feel, where it's not, how it used to be like when I was younger with the big groups of kids walking around everywhere acting crazy. It's really more calm. Me and my brothers talk about that, how Jersey City's really not bad no more, But yeah, man, and then I think I gotta do one more. Listen, I didn't write none of this down. That's how you know it's an emergency part. We just have to speak. It has no time for pre-pro. You just have to get it out. It's definitely emergency part status. And once again, shout out to the pilots who are just, doing their fucking jobs, pissing me off. That I've been calling fucking Nephilims and fucking star children and fucking angels and shit. Because it's funny how with the drones, shout out to all them niggas that was exposing the fact that fucking unidentified flying objects are true, and all them niggas that was talking about UFOs in the Capitol. They was doing their job for whatever 15, 20, 30 odd years, where nobody wants to believe that there was aliens. Nobody wants to believe that there was something besides us out there. There's been stuff besides us out there within our own atmosphere. And that's why transdimensional seems to be so much more important, because we actually as a population have still not proven that we know outer spaces. Like, we have examples of it. We have all the data of different ships that went up, people that went and came back, but everything always seems to be sketchy about anything that I've heard about when it comes to space exploration. Everything about outer space doesn't fucking feel right. And then the fact that everything stay perfectly calculated down to like mathematical order to the point of like proving God always seems to bother me. Like the slit experiment with like, I don't know, protons. Either way, the fucking element matter. And it's my most, I guess, smallest, after tardigrades, after the fucking cells that make us and everything else, right? These fucking cells can go through a slit. Instead of going straight to where the direction is going, before the observer can witness where it went, there's proof and markings of different things happening after they go through the slit. Meaning, before being observed, there's a superpositioning, meaning multiple realities in that expression of life. And that's what makes us up. Different possibilities at every second of the day is happening at the same time while you're not witnessing it. So what you chose to do didn't happen. It only happened to you. It happened, yeah, but it also happened a billion different ways differently. Because it's actual science, right? That is why transdimensional makes more sense, right, than outer space, which is the actual factual, right? Flat Earth makes more sense because of the sonars, because shit, people keep saying that, things are traveling in an infinite, right, in an infinite direction instead of circling back, right, which is supposed to happen if we're on a sphere. You're supposed to be able to hear an infinitely traveling thing back because of its direction of movement. Like, you gotta think, throw a frisbee, boomerang, all these things are, right, Fibonacci, right? For some reason, directionally, sonically, there's no Fibonacci curl, right? Things keep moving in an infinite direction. Nobody wants to believe that there's a flat Earth. Nobody thinks flat Earth makes sense. Between the maps of everything before 1700, right, and now there's what they would have called back in the days proof, right? Nowadays, because of science, which used to be considered to be witchcraft, if you can follow my logic, used to not exist, right? They had accounts. Someone's account used to matter. What a personal experience happened, that would matter. Your character, the nuance of a person's honesty was more fact-based than what we want to give it credit. We would believe certain individuals out of the merit of their own actions, out of the caliber of person we consider them to be, right? So when a person would tell you something that would be unbelievable, you'd take it with a grain of salt, but you'd also understand the possibilities. So then that is where the slit experiment comes into play. So you believe what you're being told, or you believe what has been proven over decades and centuries and millennia. What happens is the sciences of the yesteryear, of before the 1700s, can prove things like, why is there no accounts, I believe, for 300 years, right? Why do we always go from, what is it, 1000 BC, whatever you call it, and then till medieval times, and then it was proven that the medieval times may have never even existed. Put it that way, right? Now, oh no, it's a percentage of the time that is not documented, and that is assumed to be true, because guess what? These are personal accounts. When people stop believing in that, science start to disprove personal accounts. Personal accounts got proven to be as valid as science when science proved that it could not expect something to behave the way it's supposed to behave until it is observed. So that means that the variable is in experience. It is not in proof, because if it was in proof, that variable already exists. The variable is another person, another time, another situation. It did happen that way. And if there are, by chance, individuals that can tap into this other experience, right, that is just as real, right, to a cellular level, right, they may have perceived, experienced this. So you have to give it some sort of monicum of respect, because if you didn't perform any discovery, you didn't look through any knowledge, any paperwork, anything, you are just spewing another person's life, another person's account. Okay? That's how many of us have gone into the labs and seen what the weed is made out of. I could have been smoking synthetic weed for the last 10 years, and from what I'm understanding, we've all been smoking synthetic weed for the longest time. And how Delta 9 is in everything, and it most likely was even in the early 2000s. So, there's a way of looking at science, and there's a way to not look at science. And if you look at the Bible with any even crumb of sense of respect and understanding, you know that science isn't everything. So that's why you gotta understand why this series was important for me, right? Starting it over, the Emergency Pod series, and why we started it for New Year's, and also why I renamed the pod. This all episodes are relevant. It has always been TheePorchPodcast 1700. Look at it this way: it took the pod out of a certain level of shadow banning and into a higher level of being distributed throughout the app, So I was able to get out of some of that, and that's a digital framework that they have, where certain names can be shadow banned, right? And everything is based off of not an account or personal experience, it's based off of letters and numbers. So I changed it because it was always supposed to be changed. It shouldn't have been just the Porch Podcast, because you should never walk around without your steel. Shout out to B1 and shout out to the Professor Black Truth. Alright, we out.